So if you want to sing us a song or something while we're reading, that'd be good.
It's Groundhog's Day,
There you
right?
go. I'm just like.
National,
It's 6 more weeks away.
whatever you like.
That's not counting the fact that we haven't had anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm waiting
The
for
worst
the
is yet to
March
come, though.
1st, 3 feet of snow.
I've seen the snow on Easter.
The year my dad won the demolition derby on July 4th, there was snow on that morning on the Simcoes. Of course, it melted off, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Wow.
no, it was just,
it was 1990 or something like that. 91.
The six
Were you even born?
That's stupid, they've not seen
Easter
that.
egg,
6 years old.
it was a blizzard.
Born in
Right
85.
out of July 4th, that morning.
It's
And
still
about,
happy.
nice,
Still.
probably about half an inch of snow, but by that
I was
evening.
gonna say,
you
still a
never
baby,
know.
I'm like, that's not that right.
You never would know it's snowed
Yeah.
back. That was one for the
Saturday,
books.
it's 52 degrees, I'm like,
No, I was.
well, I don't need my sweater here.
She said, well, she was like, I'm not
That's
so
okay.
about my phone.
Well, yeah, it is, but it
Do
was,
it.
we pay for it.
On certain things you asked me
No, that's true.
to be in on it, and I think so, I thought that's what we did last year.
No.
We got.
We got.
Read it, so we was the area, and then-
Nothing down there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Could you go ahead and do the oath of office
Oh.
for our,
Stand up, Steve. Okay. I state your name.
I, Steve Johnston,
Do solemnly swear or affirm that I am a citizen of the United States and state of Washington,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I am a citizen of the United States and state of Washington,
that I am legally qualified to assume the office of council member,
that I am legally qualified to assume the office of council member,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Washington,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and state of Washington,
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of this office to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of this office to the best of my ability.
all right. Well, thank you for re-upping and all of that, Steve. Okay, can you do roll call, please?
Steve Johnston,
Present.
Dion Wheeler,
Present.
Lauren Meeker,
Absent.
Brian Paul,
Present.
Andy Hall,
Here.
Danielle Cleveland,
Here.
Nathaniel Hill.
Here.
All right, so Lauren he called in, so let's make a motion to have his excuse. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor of excusing Lauren?
We do a motion? I didn't hear a motion in a second.
Oh, no, there wasn't. So moved.
I'll second
Second.
it. There we go.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Okay, looks like it went through. All right. Closed public comment. This is used for the agenda business only. Is there anyone who has a public comment that would like to speak on something that we have on the agenda? I can't see the
No.
TV. Okay. All right. Public hearing. So the agenda, can we get a motion to approve the agenda with the added amendment to add H2 and the consent agenda?
I move to approve the agenda and consent agenda with the amendments.
My second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Me.
All those opposed? All right, it passes. Department reports. Chief
Smith or?
Smith?
All right. Well, not too much to add on, last month's numbers, because we had about 230 calls for service. We had 9 arrests last month to start the new year off. 4 of those arrests were theft related and 5 of them were warrants related. And so we're right where we were last year, just continuing on. So that's kind of steady and, you know, normally it should slow down for the winter, but we're like these consistent numbers, I guess, you know, so we're continuing on with that. I am doing some research on a new, public disclosure program that will actually, what it does is it's through a NextQuest. And it will tally all of our public disclosures. It'll be all automated through a computer. We can put it on our website. So if somebody does a public disclosure request, they can just click on police department, fire department, or city hall. Then that will go, once you enter your stuff, it does all our redaction for us. You type in keywords, it'll actually go through the report, redact anything, and that way the gals only have to just click on those sections, which saves us a lot of time. We get probably 20 a month redactions. So that's almost 1 a day when we redact a police report, that's actually, you know, you have a 20-page police report. We have to actually physically read that, go through the whole thing, find out what can stay, what has to be redacted per law. What this system does actually keeps that on file, so we know exactly what got redacted, what got sent out. It keeps that log. Right now, we do a separate Excel spreadsheet where the girls have to go in, redact that, send that form. We save this hard copy, it put it in a file, then we go back to another spreadsheet and type who you gave it to, who requested it, what time, date, all that it got shipped to. This automatically does that. It's about $5,000 a year for the program. And so I'm still looking into, you know, the efficiencies. I know it would work really good for the police department, just for the liability wise with all the redaction stuff coming. We're in a different age where, you know, you're held accountable for all that stuff and the liabilities of not having that stuff. I was talking to Miller a little bit about, you know, how they do stuff and it benefit the fire department quite a bit too. So
That sounds great. Is the $5,000 a year, would that cover all 3 of the departments?
yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Sounds like just manpower alone and man hours alone for cost purposes, it would,
definitely.
it's a no-brainer, it sounds
I
like.
figure out how to budget it in the budget. So
All right,
other than that, that's all.
great, thanks. Noah?
I don't have much. We did have a couple chimney fires that we went to, so make sure you're checking your chimneys.
Okay,
That's all I got.
all right. Well, thank you very much.
Looks like Lauren is now on, so.
Okay. All right. All right, do you have anything for us, city administrator Sandy?
We got notification from the mayor that, the Michael was on the Columbia Housing Authority, and so he's not on there, and I guess, Jonathan Lewis is now gonna be on there in place of Mylan.
Okay,
So it doesn't require a motion from the council, just an appointment letter by Dave, so. That'll be on there, and that's all.
all right. All right, then, let's go ahead and go down to local or council business, the lodging tax application funding recommendation. We had an amendment, so I have to find it in here now. Hold on a second. Okay, the event committee has reviewed this and the submitted applications, which are attached on January 26th. The committee collectively lowered all application amounts by 20% for each application amount requested, with the exception of the Chamber of Commerce and the Brighter Goldendale Christmas Committee. A member of the event committee will present the committee's recommendations. So. Andy, you want to present?
I guess we went over all the applications. We started looking through and trying to figure out a fair way how to, you know, make cuts to everyone equally as best we could. And we determined on a number of 20%, and that's what we went with. We added a little bit more to the Christmas group and we eliminated one asking money for the highway sign, but then included half of it into the chamber's request. So, yeah.
Okay,
Question?
Yeah.
What does that bring the chambers total to?
Let's see here. 50,000.
I don't know. I question the amount of money we give the chamber. What we get back on that. And they've also just recently we gave up the upcoming oh, what is it?
Home and Garden Show?
Home and Garden Show, so they've dropped some of the responsibilities and now they're asking for more money and. Like I said, I just question the amount of money that the city gives them for what we back out of it. And there's been a long running issue of them submitting invoices for how they're spending.
If I'm not mistaken, we cannot give them a check unless we have a proper receipt. Isn't that
That's all
correct?
been resolved.
That had been resolved. Okay. Well, I'll let that go. For tonight, I'm a little tired, so I'll keep my discussion at a minimum.
Nope, everybody that has tourism dollars has to submit a detailed invoice and receipt for everything that they spend. And then as long as it fits in the parameters of their agreement that they signed for tourism dollars and it fits the state's recommendations as well, then it gets reimbursed. But they have to have a detailed receipt for everything else.
All right, well, I thought it had been taken care of for sure, but like I said, I just question, that's my position here. I always felt we give them more money than we need to. They also get a nice chunk from the county. So I'll let it go at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to ask about any of this? So I would like to say something as a council member, not as the mayor pro tem, just to put it on the record. I am also a little concerned, not necessarily about that one specifically, but just that we last year only allocated, or we only gave out 61,000 and this year we're giving out over 100,000. That may not sound like a whole lot. That's almost double what we gave from last year. And every year we won't be able to do that. And I'm afraid that it might start trickling in on the money that we are trying to save for these other projects to try to update and get tourism in. But also I am worried that the entities that we're allotting the money to are gonna become reliant only on those and won't be able to perform if they don't get those from Earth. We already know that they can because they did last year with the 61,000. So that's all I'm gonna say and just have to say it to say it.
And I noticed there was one request in here for that. What is it's new, it's a new concept, the district beautification district,
The creative district.
creative district, kind of was open-ended.
So they're in the process of becoming a creative district. And with that, the beginning costs of that do take some. That's actually one that I really think that it needs all the help it can get to get it on board. Once it gets on board, it'll help with grants and everything else going into for the city and for different events. It'll help with grants all over the board. So not sure what your specific question is, but
Well, it was the fact, oh, there is the fact that it was open-ended. That there really is no definition of here what direction they want to go.
well, they are waiting from what I understand, and if anybody has something more in regards to it, let me know. But from what I understand, they are waiting on specific timelines to submit different things. And because of that, they had to kind of leave it obscure. However, there was, in my opinion, enough detail in there to where all of the receipts that they would turn in for it would be legitimate. It wouldn't be just, oh, for this or for this or for this. They would be legitimate to.
So we will be able to somewhat justify the allocation.
Absolutely. We would, and if it's not justifiable when they give their receipt, then they don't get the money.
Right. Okay,
Leon has her.
Oh,
okay, thank you.
did that answer your question?
Enough.
Okay. Theo?
Yes, I just had a question. How many did we allocate last year?
How many groups?
Yeah, how many people submitted and how many of those, how many were allotted?
It was either 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 5 last year. And this year it's 7.
So 2 more than last year.
Yes.
And are those big ones?
Hold on. One.
In your packet, Fiona, there's a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
that-
because I thought we had a lot more than that for some reason. But I thought the biggest
Yeah.
ones we consolidated. Like the one for the chamber, we consolidated it instead of them having two, one for 20,000. So we ended up eliminating one. So there was 8. We eliminated that one, added
Right.
it into the original and then yeah, so there is a few more than last year, obviously, which would bring that amount up a bit. And I think it was, can't remember which, there's a couple new ones that, not just the ones that we had last year, but there were a couple brand new ones. So we wanted to make sure everyone got something this year.
Mhm.
Well, and then on top of that, the more events you have, the more people it brings to town, the more money you
Yes.
make. So that's another,
Yes.
that's the point of this money.
And we do have enough left over to roll over into the rest of the year for people that we need to allocate it to. Not just. Because I think at any time of the year, if somebody wants to request money from the city, they can from those funds, correct?
Well, there's a
my-
deadline, but if, let's say, a new project comes up or something new happens, yes, it can be looked at and re-brought through the event committee.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that was clear too. Okay, thanks.
Okay, is there any more questions in regards to the funding? The allocation of funds for the event committee? Gosh, with all these pages. Do we have a motion to pass? Or any more discussion?
I guess one more comment that I might make, just because with the economy and everything, I don't see these costs going down over the years to come. Would it be advantageous to almost implement a different application, a more strict application for something that is above a monetary value that, is agreed upon?
That can absolutely be done in an events committee meeting. They can decide
Right.
upon something and bring it back to council, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which would
thank
give
you.
more, which would give further justification for spending these, these fundings, because like I said, like Andy said, I mean, there's definitely good to these events. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
sustains Goldendale for a lot of reasons, and so as long as there's justification and I don't see an issue with it, but yeah.
I have a quick question. Have you checked out the application we have currently?
I have, yeah.
So you filled one out or have, okay.
No, I just read over all of them that were submitted. And they're pretty
Oh,
in-depth
no, I
already,
mean the
but
application, not what they submitted. Like the one they have to fill out.
I think this
or
is the
is
one,
it-
right?
That's it. Yes, he
It's
has
in
it
each one.
front of-
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Sorry. Cool.
Okay. Okay, do we have any more discussion? Is anyone ready to a motion?
I move to approve the funding of the lodging tax applications as presented.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. I can't see Lauren's, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. Is he,
I can't see it, just see his name is all.
okay. All right. All right, it passes.
Oh, Lauren, you just.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 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 So the next thing we're going to talk about is the ordinance committee update. So we had an ordinance committee meeting and talked about a lot of good stuff. We came to a recommendation that we'd like to present to council for a consensus in regards to 21st Street. And there's a map in front of all of you, if you want to take a look at it, and it shows what we're proposing. We thought that after talking and having the chief of police come in and also the members of the community, we think that it would be probably the best to add 2 stop signs, one on Benson Court and the other one on Chatfield. That'll help negate some of the issues that are happening there. And then also a flashing speed sign somewhere to the east of Benson Court on 21st Street, wherever they can find a place that is best. The police department will be telling us where they think that should go. And then keeping the speed limit at 25. That way we won't be having to do that in other places that also would be wanting it. We don't want to set the precedence to change that down. If we have a consensus in here, we can move forward. There's no motion that needs to be had on this.
Stop signs might help, but the issues aren't on Chatfield Place or Benson Court. Issues are on 21st Street, people going fast. Those stop signs are not gonna help.
They're not.
That's my opinion.
Not for that part of it, and you're correct. So the other part of what we talked about during that was we found out that not a single call had been made in regards to people speeding there. So the police department never had a reason to go there and talk to anyone. They have since done that to the, it was mostly one individual that was speeding on there. They have been spoken to already, and they think that so far it's helped from what I've been told by 2 of the people in that area.
It's good.
So it was just kind of a matter of them talking to them. And these are more for the safety issue in case people are speeding.
Yeah.
The stop signs are.
Sure.
And the stop signs, because they're both 2 uncontrolled intersections, we have a lot of foot traffic that was brought to our attention. So if people walking by there and people are not stopping before they enter onto 21st Street, that's gonna cause who's at fault, who's not, as a liability on the city to not have those, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with the stop signs, but I mean, I could sit out there in front of my dad's house and watch cars all day long, speed up and down that street, so I think the speed limit needs to be lowered, but that's my opinion.
I'd like to add to that, as I stated at the last meeting and just before we had our ordinance committee meeting. I went there on 2 separate occasions over a 2-week period. So I went in the morning, went at night, went in the late afternoon, early morning. To see exactly what it was the constituents were talking about. I drove it myself and I was already doing 10 to 15 miles an hour and felt I was going too fast for the curvaceousness of the road and the number of vehicles that were parked on both sides of the street. Now, this was during the Christmas holiday, the Christmas break, when kids were out of school, so there were kids playing in their yard. And because of the number of vehicles parked on both sides of the street, if a ball had rolled into the street, if I was going any faster, I can't guarantee that I would have been able to stop in time. We probably would have there could have certainly been an accident. There's a lot of blind areas because of the number of vehicles on that side of the street. I agree with Andy. I'd like to see it lowered, but I will say, I think the stop signs will be a big help. The other thing how quickly would we be able to get that flashing speed limit sign on that road if this is implemented? I think that would be a deterrent if you
That's just about the worst can buy it. That's not a part of it.
Typically, we do buy the signs, we don't have any extra of those, but when we do a TIB, the Transportation Improvement Board projects, they give us the signs for those and we have to keep them in there a year. So we do have one in town on a project that we are done with. So we're gonna kind of check and see if that one can be moved. If not, we'll order one. So we might have one we could put in sooner rather than later, but if it's, the time's not up yet, then we'll have to order it.
Sure.
And one of the other, go ahead, Steve.
2 issues. That age-old demon of parking on the street. This is not the first street we've addressed as far as people parking on the street. This picture does not do it justice. There's not a car inside.
That's true.
And there are no sidewalks. And again, that is one of your biggest problems as far as pedestrian safety? Coming off from, private property on the street, children mostly, is a parked vehicle. And that is not a real wide street either. And so I think we should address that. It's like pulling teeth. We've already found that out. But nevertheless, it is the one best deterrent, I feel, when it comes to pedestrian safety. And line of sight, or like your side streets coming out. There are no designated crosswalks on that street that I can see here, that I've ever seen. I go out, I cruise that myself. If we could designate a crosswalk close to either one of those, and abolish at least some of that parking, you're going to create a line of sight, at least for that short area. I don't know if they're parking on both sides of the street,
There is.
and that's crazy for a street that narrow and that crooked.
So that was also talked about, and we talked about moving forward, and we are going to be discussing it even more. That was another part of our ordinance meeting. We talked about moving forward, putting in our ordinances for upcoming constructions and any constructions moving forward to look at, and we're already have discussed with both Doug and Robert to find out, to make sure that we would be in our legal limits to say anything moving forward that we're going to construct. We will only construct it if it's larger or wider streets. The only caveat with that is that if they're wider streets, if they're past a certain width, then we lose our TIB funding. So because of that, we're finding out the details, and then we'll be having another ordinance or another ordinance meeting to discuss it further, because we also agreed to that. Because well, first, there were three things we talked about: the widening of the streets, the straightening of the streets, and or maybe it was just those two, and seeing if we can't get that put forward in the newer constructions going forward, because this never should have been accepted by this. Is it legal? Yes, but now we're having the problems, and we're seeing the problems. So we figured if we can mitigate it by those stop signs and the flashing light, and now everyone in that area know to call the police officers if they are having somebody who's speeding, to let them know. We're hoping to mitigate it enough to where that will make the speeding less. If not, at a further time, we can always go back and look at the 25 miles an hour. But they seem pretty convinced, and so did all of our board, including the chief of police, that in fact, just as talking to the people that were speeding helped. So,
But no conversation about parking on the street.
no,
Well, the problem with your parking issues is these older neighborhoods that.
There's not room.
Just like the new Jackson Street that got approved to go smaller than normal, no sidewalks, no nothing. We make these exemptions, not thinking ahead of what the issues are gonna be down the road. The population increases. Like today, there was an accident on the highway. They rerouted traffic through Columbus and down Simcoe, so I had to direct traffic during school zones because semis got stuck in between Columbus to turn on to Simcoe when that's rush hour traffic for us. There's a million cars, everybody's going to school, and now we have the whole highway coming into our town, and we're not prepared for that. On the manpower, I don't have to do that. I mean, I'm out on the street doing the best we can, and then all day, if you notice, all day we had massive traffic through town because they either went all the way down to Broadway and out semis, or we had semis going down Simcoe, which are not, your normal truck routes are not that, but because of an emergency on the highway, that fluctuates into the town. And so that's just things to maybe put in the back of your minds to, when somebody comes and wants to do a new project or, avenue, neighborhood, whatever, that it's done right in the beginning with the sidewalks with that in mind, because if the cars are parked there, I mean, it's up to parents to teach your kid not to run in the street, look both ways. I mean, that's not something that I think the city should be enforcing and changing parking over how kids play. That's not a responsibility. The responsibility is, if there's streets out there, why do we not have sidewalks for people to walk down, pedestrians? We've funneled this where pedestrians only have one option, is to be in the street. So that's kind of that in a nutshell.
I'd like to add to that, the narrowness. Oh, sorry.
Lauren's had his hand up. Let's get to Lauren first, and we'll come back to you. Lauren, go ahead.
Yeah, I put my head down because Steve echoed exactly what I was gonna say. We did talk a little bit about removing parking. But the stop signs we're seeing as a first step. And so if this doesn't solve the problem, my understanding was that we go back to the issue and talk about removing parking. You're not gonna stop everybody from speeding. It could be 15 miles an hour, you can make it 5 miles an hour. And people are starting to go 30. So we really got to look at other ways to solve the safety issue if it continues to persist after the stop signs are in place, in my opinion.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Brian?
My only other concern is with the narrowness of those streets. You have a situation where you've got a major police call out, EMS, fire, and I can attest to this, having been in EMS for 31 years. That you get those narrow streets, you have a structured fire, you have a major medical emergency like a code where you've got multiple units on scene. Where do those people go if that street is officially completely blocked? I mean, there's nowhere for these people to go, number one. Number two, safety hazard, and congestion, because you need to bring in multiple units, other units for safety or support. You don't have that availability of space.
So
Just wanted to add that.
just for the record, that first house right here on the map,
Mhm.
that house burned down in 1999 and that whole neighborhood was closed off. And that was brought up on 18th Street and it was ignored and we have a narrow street there.
Case in point.
Yeah, we have sidewalks, which is better, but we have a narrow street that if something happens at the beginning of that street, now you have a whole bunch of people stuck. And all it's gonna take is an ambulance call if someone can't get there or something, so just.
Right, and that's why we were bringing up that trying to, from here forward, get the streets either wider or be smarter about the way we have the new construction coming in, is we'll have it in the ordinances so that won't happen again. Or if it does, then it'll have to be voted on in here. But that's gonna be at our next meet, yes.
Another question about how was it justified placing the flashing sign where you did and not maybe halfway down?
That was just a suggestion part, but the chief was gonna look at that when we actually get the sign and where to put it.
So what I'm hearing is this is kind of fluid and it's gonna be a progressive, graduated approach to this.
Pretty much, the consensus that we'll need for today probably is the 2 stop signs and a flashing speed sign, which is where the flashing speed sign would be a little fluid. Yes, we were thinking that general area because you can see it from when you first turn in, and that's that first curve, and that's typically where the issues we're having. And so that's why that thought was there, but the chief, God bless you, the chief of police said that they would look and make sure that they put it in the best possible place. So really all the census is for the 2 signs, the 2 stop signs and then the flashing sign. So do we have a consensus to move forward on that?
And not address the speed limit.
And not change the speed limit right now?
Okay.
Is there a consensus? Can I have thumbs up or?
I guess we can go with that, but I just
Yeah.
strongly feel in the future we need to lower the speed limit because that is the issue.
Oh, definitely needs
But-
more attention.
Well, and we did talk about that quite in depth, but all of us kind of came to the agreement that if somebody's gonna speed in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, they're also gonna speed in a 15-mile-an-hour zone. And to get that, for the police officers to be able to get them speeding on that, it's not long enough for them to get a good radar. So because of that, we're trying to do the other things that we think could possibly help first.
True. But there is a psychological thing about it too. If your speed limit is 50, they're gonna go 60. If it's 25, they're gonna go 35. If it's 15, they'll go 25 or 30. So, but you're right, we can't, we're not the emotional and psychological police of
Thank goodness.
Don't even wanna go there.
I think this is a really good first step.
I do,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
I think
like to make a motion. But
It's no motion necessary, it's just a consensus, so I can't see theirs up there. Do we have a consensus from Theon and?
Yes, you have
Lauren?
my consensus.
Okay. And Lauren was in the ordinance meeting and wanted this as well, but I don't see his.
Just too
Mhm.
quick to consider with changing, when we change speed limits in just certain neighborhoods, it gets very confusing on towns. Where your speed limit is unless you have signage, you know, I mean, if the city's willing to put up the money to re-sign everything and you have to make it clear. You know, cause it's unfair to certain areas, if you all of a sudden change that, you know, your standard speeds are 25, you know, and 50, you know, if it's in the city, it's already statewide 25 miles an hour through the city. Except in school zones where it's 20, you know, so when we do lower those speed limits down, it does get, you know, something to be thinking about.
Sure.
You know, because when we enforce this, now I expect a person to already know that, you know, and with it, if it's those standard speeds, it doesn't have to have a sign. You know, so
Right,
Makes sense.
all right, so we have a consensus.
Yes.
Okay, the other thing that we spoke about, just so that everybody knows, is changing the speed limit from North Columbus, from the bridge overpass for the Little Klickitat River to the north of the city limits back to 25 miles an hour. It's the only place within city limits that is over 25 miles an hour. And there's a line of sight issue when you are coming off of High Street or off of Byers that makes it difficult to see. And there's been a lot of complaints about that. It would do almost nothing to change that back to 25 miles an hour. And we were wanting to move forward with that and just let you guys know that will be brought back up in the ordinance board. Yes.
I don't know if anybody is aware of why it used to be 25. Does anybody know why it got changed to 30?
Mm-mm.
So vehicles in the wintertime could have a little bit better run going north to get up the hill if the road was slick. That's
Hmm.
the philosophy that got it changed. So
we got great plowers now.
Yeah. How long ago was this, Steve?
Well, them horses had to really get moving.
Go ahead, Lauren.
It's one of our final-
Oh, yes, yes, they would. Giddy up.
Steve got his buggy stuck at the time.
Now we know the whole story. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and,
Probably just a consensus for that one as well, because then we'll do a public hearing that we have to advertise for a public hearing.
okay,
Change the speed limit and then it goes back and then you change the ordinance. So
all right, so do we have a consensus to change the speed limit back to 25 miles an hour since we're no longer in horse and buggies? And go forward from there so that we can have a public hearing. All those in favor,
Aye,
No,
or for a census, consensus.
For consensus.
Okay, okay, great.
And that's going both ways, right?
Yes,
Because as much as the problem is coming into town. They're coming into town at 50 miles an hour.
Right.
They don't slow down.
all right, so let's move on to the resolutions. We have resolution number 750 for property surplus. The fire department wishes to surplus a fire command vehicle that is a 2008 Ford Explorer. The city of Bingen Fire Department has agreed to accept the surplus command vehicle in its as-is condition, and Chief Noah Holm will be in attendance to answer any questions. So Noah, yeah.
So this vehicle was actually, the police department's originally, then we got it. And we've got the new command pickup, newer command pickup, we no longer need it. Bingen Fire Department has, inquired about it, and so we'd just like to see it go there.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Chief?
No.
Okay, is there a motion?
So move.
Is there-
second,
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? I can't see the screen. Does anyone have their hand up?
No.
Okay. All right, all those in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, all those not in favor? I think everyone has voted. All right, motion passes. Okay, report of officers. Let's go ahead and let's start with you, Steve. Yeah, for us.
The only thing that I would like to comment about tonight is, I would like to touch bases with Noah regarding, having conversations with, the mayor's talked to you about it also, put together a presentation regarding this fire mitigation situation we're talking about. Can't remember who's, you said you would talk to her, anyway. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so the county got a grant last year, I believe, and they have a company right now doing some. What was it? It's basically what they do is they've got the map, all the topography and weather conditions and everything like that. And this computer system basically lights fire in certain areas and then just kind of shows where the fire would spread to. We just got finished with that, so I'm hoping very soon we'll have a presentation to council with that.
Excellent, and it's gonna overlap, this whole thing is gonna overlap with this critical area study that's being done, that we're having to address, plus our floodplain area, and the area of most concern is along the quick gap.
Yeah.
From that side of town to the other side of town, and I say it this way because the wind always comes 99% of the time, especially during fire season. And so I was kind of just trying to get a little update on that.
Yeah, we just did it last Tuesday, we had our final meeting, so they're sending everything to us. And I just gotta get something set up for gentlemen to present to you guys with the findings.
Okay, excellent. Because that, to me anyway, that's a real important issue. We should be proactive about rather than reactive. Or else time burns down. Anyway, you know, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Dion, do you have anything for the council? Is she up there?
Dion,
Sorry, that was technical difficulties. I have a new phone. This is weird. Okay,
Anything for the
so
council?
I do actually. So I wanted to find out if we have a presentation set up for the 5G safety 6409 compliance.
I sent him an email and I'm waiting for an email back.
Oh, you did. Okay, so he was hoping to do it in February, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make next city council meeting. But I was hoping I want to be there for it for sure somehow, or at least listen in.
So would you like
okay.
me to make it for March then?
That would be wonderful if you could
Okay.
try to schedule it for one of the March. Yeah, that would be great. And then I just wanted to also find out what we were gonna do with the county commissioners when it comes to finding out if we did completely lose out on that grant or not, because it would be timely. That's just one of the things I remember hearing from one of the representatives that we spoke with. And I didn't want us to forget, because if there is still a chance, I'd like to get in on it.
So we're not the ones with the grant, the county is. And I know that the county has been spoken to about that grant for you're talking about for the animal?
Yep.
Okay.
And
so
it would be timely.
Right. They've been aware of it being timely for over a year. I have not spoken to them recently in regards to it. The last time was maybe 4 months ago. So I don't know if it's overlapped or not. I don't know if anything further has been talked to about it, but either way, it's not a city thing. It's a county thing. With that portion of it, it has nothing to do with the city.
Oh. Well, I know we've talked about this in multiple past meetings, and Sandy said she'd reach out to them and see what, so we could get in cahoots with them, so that the city can work with them on it, because we need them here in the city. We need that money here in the city, even though it's a county grant. That was my understanding, is that we were going to try to work with them on that together, and maybe even match something.
So we did have a meeting with them, the mayor, we met with one of the commissioners. They were waiting on one of the departments to give them a budget and how it would be run and a plan for it. And so until they have that portion completed, they were still kind of in limbo of that. And that was the last meeting until they were gonna get back to us when that portion was done, and I haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay, should I reach out to Lori Zoller or I don't know Ron yet? And I'm not familiar. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the two new commissioners, sorry. But I could try to find out where they're at with that and maybe bring it back to the table before it's completely gone, or find out or if they lost it. That's all. I just remember wanting to bring that up because I don't want to lose sight of it. And then I guess no, that's it. I just wanted to remind us, or try to do a follow-up with that. And just want to say thank you to everybody who's been involved with the AWC meetings and everything. And I know I would really like to do something to put like something together for the mayor, like something based on all of our opinions and perceptions and thoughts about our trip up there to Olympia.
You're more than welcome to reach out to him anytime you want. I already did a debrief with him
Okay.
on what I came back with. But you're more than welcome to. I'm sure he would appreciate anything that you were wanting to let him know about.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
All right,
That's all I
thanks,
have.
Sam. Did you?
Question about that. Is there anything out of line or out of decorum if one of the council members with permission and clearance were to talk to one of the county commissioners? For example, I know Ron Ihrig, he served on the hospital board or the Vote Yes committee together. Maybe try to bridge that gap and maybe see if we can get something moving forward as Leon stated.
Yeah.
Any clearances needed, any permissions?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Permission granted.
All right, Lauren, do you have anything for the council tonight?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Brian?
I just made my statement.
Okay. All right, how about you, Andy?
I just want to mention on Valentine's Day, the Goldendale Pride Alliance is putting together a adult prom for everyone. All are welcome, all inclusive. It's been an idea I've always thought about doing, and I have some other people that are helping me put it on. It's at the American Legion, 6 o'clock on Valentine's Day. So all are welcome.
Thank you. Is that all? Anything else? Okay, thanks. Nathaniel?
Just wanted to say thanks to the city for having us go to the Association of Washington Cities, the AWC event. I thought it was very beneficial for a new city council member, and I mean, it was definitely motivating, and would like to have further discussion about that as a group when we can, to just further our communication with cities around us, the county, and just come up with good legislative ideas and stuff like that to benefit the city of Goldendale. So that's all.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, well, all I really have is I wanted to say the May 2nd is the citywide cleanup. That's official now, finally, so I can put it out there to everyone. So anyone who is wanting to help with that, contact me, please. We're putting that on with the Goldendale Community Enrichment Group, Republic Services, and the county, the Solid Waste Advisory Committee. So if you have any questions about it, please do reach out. Secondly, yes, City Action Days was fantastic. Thank you all for everyone who went and gave input to that. We had some great discussions with both of our representatives and the senator. We got some good feedback on things to bring forward to try to get money for and funding for. And so we have a little bit of a game plan going forward. There's obviously going to need more discussion about it and what we're really wanting to settle on and all of that. But they're wanting us to put some ideas out there so that we can get some funding for our town. And there is money there. So we get our idea makers going. The other thing I just wanted to say for Dave, to say thank you to everyone for all of the prayers and the voices of concern, the text messages, the phone calls and everything reaching out to him. He is on the mend. I'm not going to go into details, but he's definitely on the mend and he's in great spirits. He's here in town and he's looking forward to coming back, but he wanted to express his appreciation for everyone stepping up and all of that. So thank you everyone for doing him proud. Other than that, that's all I have. So we can go ahead and go to open public comment. Does anyone have an open public comment, 3-minute limit on anything? Okay, go ahead and stand up and state your name and your residency.
Jerry Bloodgood at 622 East Main, right behind Les Schwab and Fresh Market.
Okay, thank you.
I had an incident on Thursday that I have some questions about what we can do. The neighbor notified me, it was like about 4:30 in the afternoon. There was a big, huge dead cat on the sidewalk. We got a big, colony cat there. And I had asked before and had said, well, if it's on this road, if it's on the highway, you can call the highway department. I got a letter from different things. And I think in town, I had been told it's some department, public works or maintenance, you can call them and notify that there is an animal. I thought, well, they're gonna get closed and they're not there on Friday. We'll only, clean it up and take it up. I did a few things wrong. It was on the sidewalk, which is not the right of way of the city, so the city will not deal with it at all. The cat was obviously hit on the right of way and either by its own means or somebody else put it on the sidewalk. Because if it was a sidewalk, then it became, the property owners or whoever. One question I have is how do renters and homeowners know what is their right of way or this place, sidewalk, curb, road, curb, sidewalk right next to it. It was on the sidewalk, not in the right of way, so they couldn't deal with it. Plus, because I picked it up, even though it wasn't, and brought it there, even if I would have found it in the right of way, I can't pick it up and do anything with it. It has to stay in the right of way. Public Works or whatever department has to come and deal with it when they have time. And I know that people are just trying to be nice and not leave the dead animals all over the place. What can we do to deal with that? I live just down the street from them and I have sidewalk, but then I have grass about 3 feet. And then I have the curb. Is the grass, I'm a renter, I don't know, is the grass in my right of way? Or is it, I think the sidewalk is. They say always the sidewalk is, but it's the grass. My grass is 3 feet to go down some streets, and the grass and the dirt is wide enough for parking on. I'm thinking they're probably gonna say the right of way is the curb. Maybe 142, but then that goes, they'll defer to that as it's a highway. And the highway department will pick it up. So people in town, if they see these dead animals, what do we do with them? I don't think, throw them in the trash. I don't think Republic people would not like to know that we're doing that. I luckily was talking to some people and they were gonna have a fire pit, so they took the animal and took that. Otherwise, I had this frozen cat. It could hardly fit in a trash bag. I wrapped it up in a puppy pads and stuff like that.
Right.
Otherwise, other to have anybody be responsible for it because it was hit in the road. It was so obvious it was hitting the road.
Okay,
They said, no, that you can't bring it, you can't. I couldn't even come back and bring it on Monday because I'd already told them that I picked it up on the sidewalk, which wasn't the right of way. So they wanted me to say, no, I'm gonna put it in the street before I pick it up, you know?
Okay,
People are not wanting the road, they left in the road, so they put them on the side.
Right.
That now, the city is gonna say, not our responsibility, we won't touch it.
okay. Thank you very much for your comment. I appreciate it. If either of you have any knowledge on this right now, then if you want to speak it up, then go ahead. But
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw it out there. Anything from your house up to that curb is your responsibility, whether you're a renter, homeowner. I mean, that's for you, the landlord.
So it's just the curb.
It goes to the curb, so you're required to maintain the cutting the grass, removing the snow.
But,
sidewalks.
yeah,
You know, that is required. You know, the city public works will remove deer and animals, you know, dead animals from the street. It is not their job. Sometimes, you know, we do assist if there's, you know, elderly people that can't pick up a deer.
Right.
We have made arrangements, you know, I know some officers have
I
figured out ways to remove that. You, if you do pick up an animal that's in your front yard, feel free to put it in your garbage can. Rebecca, they take all that, goes to the garbage. If you wanna bury it in your yard, you can, whatever means you can to dispose of that animal is the homeowner's responsibility. And so, like I said, a few far between opportunities when there is somebody that's very elderly that there's no way they can, we have removed them for them. It's not our job, but it's one of those things that, you know, we do try and help the public when we can, so.
So the answer is put it in the trash.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you. Are there any other open public comments? All right, well, we're gonna be going into an executive session, so at that point, everyone has to leave while we're in executive session.
And there won't be a motion after the executive session.
Correct, so unless you just feel like saying goodbye to us when we leave, there's no reason for anyone to have to stay and wait for us.
And we just, how much time do you?
About 15 minutes.
15.
I'm getting the flyers made right.
Yeah, text it.
Sounds like there's somebody else.
Bye-bye, thank you. for being-
Today.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Do we have, we still have Fiona and Lauren on the line, right?
Yeah, we have to remove everybody that's in there and
Right.
stop the recording and then we can, and you can start.
Excuse me. These are from Nancy Custody, I found out.
Nice. Jefferson, you guys are last friend.